I'm Elijah Smith, and a little bit about me. I've always wanted to be a chef ever since I was young, but there have also been a lot of other things I wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I've always wanted to be an artist. I've always wanted to be in government in some way or another. But I've also always wanted to be a chef. And going through high school, I battled with the idea of where am I going to go after I'm done with high school? Who am I going to be? And where's my life going to take me? And it wasn't until sophomore year, the end of sophomore year of high school, so that was only 2 years ago for me. It wasn't until the end of that year that I started to have a solid plan of who I was going to be and what path I was going to take. AP Art History was something very special. So we learned about art history in the Worcester Art Museum, which was a very unique environment, to say the least. And at the end of the year, our teacher gave us the opportunity to do something that we wanted to do as our final project. There were no guidelines, no rules, nothing was out of the box. So I went out of the box. And I dedicated a 3-course meal to my favorite artist that I'd found during the year. Her name was Emily Ame Njware, and she was an Aboriginal abstract artist, and something about her work really spoke to me. So being a chef and being an art lover now, I decided to combine both of those things and make a 3-course tasting menu for my entire class. Mind you, it was 30 people, so not an easy undertaking. And I thought I was going to do it all myself, do 90 place settings, or 30 place settings, 90 plates, silverware, do tables, get everything ready and prepped within probably an hour and a half. Me, myself, and I. Bold move, bold assumption. We'll see how that ended up. So, as I started to get into production, I think it was probably around 6 at that point, things started to get a little dicey, let's just say. And by then, I had started to come to the realization that I probably wasn't going to get all of this done in an hour and a half, and I started to panic a little bit at that point. What was I going to do if I didn't have all my place settings done? What was I going to tell my teacher? What was I going to do with what was I going to do for my final project grade? And was it all to waste if I wasn't able to do that? And then something really amazing happened. I made a lot of great friends throughout the year of AP Art History. Friends I still talk to this day. Granted, it's only 2 years, but it is what it is. I made a lot of good friends, so as people started getting bored of being in the gallery space where we set up our final project, they started to wander into the studio because that's a normal meeting place for us. So as people started to get bored and started to walk in, they started to offer their help. They started to ask me what they could do to make my life a little easier. So I started to delegate. As people started to ask what they could do with the appetizers, ask what they could do with place settings, ask what they could do with silverware, I was able to just step back and be a chef for once in my life. And that was what changed me personally. That's what changed my mindset. We'll get into that later. By 7:30, I had 10 people working under me, and I wasn't lifting a finger. Now, wow, that sounds like a little bit of a pompous, maybe a little bit arrogant thing to say. It was great because I had put in my work, I had put in my effort, and I was able to just sit back and let my brigade of workers and staff take the lead for me, while I was able to just sit back and supervise and make sure my vision came true. And it did. My vision came true so wonderfully that night. And by the end of the night, I was exhausted, but I was so proud of the vision that I had imagined, and so proud that I was able to trust other people to help me in my journey. And what that night taught me is I have what it takes to be a chef. I have what it takes to be a top-notch executive chef at a 3-star Michelin restaurant. I have what it takes now. And now I'm here at Johnston & Wales, fulfilling my dream, going on the right path, and being who I was meant to be. I was meant to be in the kitchen. I was meant to be in this communications class. And I was meant to wear this chef uniform. And that's why I wear it for you today. So that was a little bit about me and my experience. So thanks for listening, people.